Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm here today to share with you guys a card that I made using the Art Impressions stamp set. Live, Laugh, and Love. I absolutely love these Art Impressions stamp sets. They're so much fun to work with. And here I'm just showing you the stamp. And I'm going to be making a card today using this. I've been wanting to make a card for a while now with stamps and wanting to color. So here I'm going to use my Stamp Perfect tool to stamp this onto a piece of white cardstock. And I'm just going to place my paper into the holder here. And I'm kind of just winging this card. I didn't really plan it out. So I'm just laying the stamp in there. I absolutely love this stamping tool. It's amazing. It's like the Misty tool, only this one is the Stamp Perfect one. And I'm using Memento ink because it's Copic friendly. Because I'm going to be using Copic markers to color this. And then I'm going to ink this a couple times just to make sure that the image is pretty bold so that you can see it well on the card. And that's what's awesome about this holder, this tool here, is that you can stamp it multiple times. You can make multiple cards with it with the same image and the same placement. So I noticed the middle there wasn't quite as bold, so I went ahead and added more ink to it real quick. I put lots of pressure on it, that way it would stamp it a little bit better. Then after that I got to coloring, and I sped up my coloring, and I will list all the colors I used while coloring with Copic markers. I'll list them down in the description below. So I kind of picked out my colors as I went. And I was going to start showing them in the videos, but I decided not to do that all the way through. So I'll just list them in the description of the video. So here I sped up the video so I don't color that fast. If only it was that fast, but coloring does take quite a bit. But I absolutely love coloring with Copic markers. They're nice markers to work with. They blend real well. They're refillable, and I usually uncap both ends when I color, as I've shared in other videos. I just find it helps where I won't get a big old ink splotch. So I absolutely love these ladies. They're perfect for like cards to send to friends. And I decided to do like their outfits totally different from each other, and their hair different. Trying to change it up a little bit. And I tried to add a little bit of dimension to it. I'm not like a professional colorer or professional card maker by any means. I just kind of just do it just for fun. And Copic markers, they are quite expensive, so I always use coupons when I buy them. And I always have my husband also get in line if he's with me, and I have him purchase a marker as well with a coupon. So it definitely helps if you have your spouse with you. Or a friend. It'd be nice. That way you can build your stash up more. Like I said, coloring takes a while. And I sped this up, I think, by 8. So I don't want to speed it up too much. And then I just went over the whole image with gray so it kind of pops off the paper. I seen someone do this in another video, so I decided to do it too, and I kind of liked the way it looked. Here I'm cutting the paper down to size to put onto a card. And it took me a little bit to figure out what paper to use behind it for the actual card. I did pick a different paper pad and I didn't like it, so then I went to this. It's called Très Chic, I believe. It's like Paris themed, real pretty paper, and it's, I think I got it at Joann's if I remember correctly. So I'm going to use those two patterns, and I'm just cutting them down to size. And I decided I'm going to use that for my mat to put the picture on. And I was going to ink it with black soot around the edges, but I decided to change it up for the vintage photo, because there was a little bit more browns on the paper and on the image itself, so I decided to use brown to ink it up. And I just like inking the edges. It makes it look kind of like finished, and just really nice effect it does. So, and then I'm going to glue it down on that paper there. And I'm using adhesive from Walmart. And then I decided to cut down the paper some more. And using a paper trimmer is awesome. Now it's time to make the actual card itself. And I decided to use some dark brown paper behind this as well, just to kind of make it pop off that paper a little bit more. And I believe I got this cardstock from Joann's or Michael's, one of them. It's the kind that goes for like 3 for $10 normally. And I decided to ink the edges on this too. I absolutely love Distress inks. They're one of my favorite inks to kind of work with. Then I'm just going to trim this up. And this trimmer I got at a garage sale. It's by Creative Memories. It's like a rotary blade trimmer, which is awesome to work with as well. So my initial plan was to make a card to where this would fit onto the entire card front, but that didn't work out like planned. I guess I just don't know how to measure correctly when it comes to cards and the sizes. So here I am making the actual card. Oh, and my trimmer broke, which happens quite a bit because it has like a locking mechanism and it always comes unlocked. I don't know how to prevent it. So if you guys have any tips there, definitely let me know. So, and then I'm breaking out my scoreboard, and I didn't unfold it. It's actually like a full-size one, but I didn't unfold it because I didn't need to. And then it helps if you hold the paper like down all the way, because here I let it slip, so then it kind of messed it up a little bit. So I just repositioned it. And this just helps you score it, and I thought I measured it correctly, but apparently I didn't. So it didn't it didn't fold right. So I had a little left hanging over. So I just trimmed that off real quick. Which using scissors doesn't quite work, so I just used a paper trimmer to finish it off, make it look a little better. So I have no plans for this card, it just kind of is a card to add to my stash. And then I was planning on adding this to the whole card, but like you can see here, the panel is too big. So I decided to do it a little crooked and then cut off the edges. So I just kind of went with it. And then I just trimmed off the edges there that are hanging over. And then to kind of give it a finished look, I decided to ink the edges of where I cut it off at. That way it kind of looks like I meant to do that. And then I'm going to add my sentiment. These sentiments on this stamp set are hilarious. Absolutely love them. Art Impressions, they have the greatest stamps ever. They're pretty funny. So I'm just going to use a scrap piece of white paper to ink this on, because I'm going to end up trimming it down anyways. And I'm going to re-ink it, that way it's a little bolder. And again, I'm using Memento ink. And then I'm going to end up trimming this down. And I sped this up as well, because it took me forever to line it up just right. Because as the paper got smaller, it was kind of hard to put it in an actual trimmer. Like right here, this was a challenge. And then I didn't know exactly what to do with this, like how to put it on the page, if I wanted to ink it, if I wanted to put paper behind it, how did I want to do it. So then I decided to go ahead and use some vintage photo and ink it, kind of blend it all around it. And when you do this, the edges of that paper become kind of like darker, so it's kind of creates this cool effect when you do that. And I decided that I'm going to go ahead, instead of just putting it on the paper like that, I'm going to put it on some white cardstock, cut that out. So making this one card is quite a process. And then I inked around the edges of that. And then I put it on some dark brown cardstock. Actually, I lied. I kept it on white. I thought about putting it on brown cardstock. So then I put some foam on the back of it, that way to make it pop and stand up. So there's the card. Hope you guys enjoyed the little video of me making the card. And if you guys haven't already, definitely subscribe to my channel by hitting that red subscribe button. And check out my Facebook group.